who are present amongst us, academicians and students. I must really compliment Goa High Court Bar Association for taking this initiative. I must confess that I am here as a member of the legal fraternity, or somebody who is part of the legal fraternity for 40 years, 20 years as a lawyer and 20 years as a judge. But I am not an academician, and therefore I have my own limitations when I address you on this subject. Legal education in India has seen drastic changes from 80s. I joined law college, the government law college in Mumbai, which is the oldest law college in India, in 1980. The law education in those days was completely different. The law course was understood only to be a part-time course where we used to have maximum 2 lectures in a day. There were no extracurricular activities. If I remember correctly, I was sharing this with my colleagues today in the afternoon when I was here. We used to have maximum 1 moot court competition throughout the year. In fact, I must confess that in those days, it was very often said that those who cannot secure admission to any other better courses, for them law used to be the last resort. I must hasten to add that I was not one of them, but that was the fact. In fact, I remember my friends and colleagues in government law college, there were hardly few who had decided to practice law. We had retired government employees who wanted to do something after retirement. I had many colleagues and friends who were doing chartered accountancy or cost accountancy or company secretary course, and they were there as an additional qualification. I want to tell, for the benefit of young students who are present here, that I remember my days in government law college where we used to have only 2 lectures in the morning, and we used to spend our rest of the day at 3 interesting places nearby. One was, of course, Bombay High Court, and I was privileged in those days to see H.M. Siroi addressing a full bench. Hardly anything I could understand as a lawyer. The second best place was British Council Law Library, British Council Library, which was very close by. And third, and perhaps more interesting, was Wankhede Stadium, where we could spend 2 rupees and see Gavaskar and Vishwanath in action in Ranji Trophy or Dilip Trophy. Thereafter, the things started changing, and I must say, as the President said, that the first change was in 1986. That was with the establishment of National Law School at Bangalore, and we must all give credit to Professor Madhava Menon, who really changed the course of legal education in our country. I mean, so much can be said about National Law School in Bangalore, and I think National Law School Bangalore was the first university to start 5 years course, subject to correction, in 1988. Till 1988, all courses were part-time 3 years courses. And today, we are fortunate to have one ex-Vice Chancellor and present Vice Chancellor who have continued the old and grand traditions of Professor Madhava Menon. Advent of national law schools gave a different dimension to the legal education in India. And after national law schools started, 5 years course, then there were so many law colleges, leading law colleges, they started 5 years course. Till 80s, even thinking of having a full-time course in law was unheard of. I remember in those days, members of the Bar Council used to vehemently oppose any change in the law course. Even the full-time course was being vehemently opposed because their contention was that it will prevent common man from taking legal education. But fortunately, things changed, and I can say that from late 80s, the talent started coming back to the law. Because suddenly you will find from late 1980 or early 90s that in leading cities of our country, legal profession became most lucrative profession. And perhaps that was one reason why talent started coming back to law, and now we have those competitive examinations like CLAT, or all states have their entrance examinations which are very, very competitive. And today we have large number of colleges, large number of law colleges, private law schools which we see today. Now we are talking about legal education in future. Now there are several issues associated with the legal education, and it is for the academicians to look into it. Though I am not an academician, I got a chance to somehow deal with legal education. I was associated with Maharashtra National Law School in Mumbai. Now in my capacity as Chancellor of MLLU Aurangabad, I am associated with the law education, and therefore I see number of difficulties. Now the first and foremost issues which we have to deal with in future is about availability of trained law teachers. We have 2018 regulations of University Grants Commission. The regulations provide that for even assistant professor, you need a master's degree with 55% marks, and you require that net set qualification, state level or national level entrance test, or PhD. For associate professors and for professors, same qualifications with some addition. So today nobody can teach in a law school or law college unless he has a master's degree with 55% marks and net set or PhD. The result is, you take case of several national law schools, you take a case of several law colleges, you will find that there is a dearth of teachers. All law schools and law colleges are appointing retired people or those who are not qualified on contract basis. This is one area where perhaps the academicians will have to apply their mind. As a student of law, for their benefit, I want to say something. For becoming a good law teacher, is it necessary to have postgraduate degree? I'll give you an example. I am told that late Mr. Nani Palkhiwala, Justice Chandrachud, Senior Chandrachud, and many distinguished lawyers were part-time lecturers in government law college. When I was in government law college, perhaps these regulations were not there. We had very senior and distinguished members of the bar who were working as part-time professors. Now mind you, Senior Justice Chandrachud and Mr. Nani Palkhiwala arguably one of the greatest lawyers India has produced. All of them had only one law degree, that also 2-year old. In those days, they were 2-year LLB course. Can we say that they were not competent to teach law? Today, when I was a law student, so many members of the bar, those who were practicing in City Civil Court in Mumbai, those who were practicing in High Court, they are very distinguished members of the bar. All of them were teachers, and we were immensely benefited by their presence. Therefore, in every conference of Bar Council which I attend, I always tell the Bar Council that, look, please go to University Grants Commission and see that these regulations are amended. I am not saying that those who want to be appointed as assistant professors or associate professors or professors, they should not have this kind of a qualification. They should have, but at least there should be some regulations which allow senior members of the bar, very distinguished members of the bar, who are interested in legal education to become part-time lecturers. Unless we have this kind of a facility, we'll have a scenario where, like most of the law colleges, where the law management struggle to appoint the professors. I may give one example. I gave example of the oldest law college in India, that is Government Law College in Mumbai. For 12 years, with so many advertisements, we could not appoint a regular principal, and we were faced with such a situation that we used to depute our senior district judge to act as a principal of that great institution, because we don't get law teachers. Maybe these qualifications may be issue, or maybe in Mumbai there were other problems like people found it difficult to secure accommodation, etc. But in future now we'll have to seriously consider whether we can amend the UGC regulations and allow senior members of the bar whose experience will be extremely useful to the law students to contribute. Now, as far as qualifications are concerned, it is the domain of University Grants Commission. When it comes to standards of legal education, now we have the rules of legal education framed by the Bar Council of India. Now, in those rules, now there is a compulsory clinical course, and there the Bar Council say that the assistance of lawyers and retired judges can be taken to conduct those courses. One more serious issue which we'll have to think about in future, which I have always raised. We talk about legal education. Now, what is the object of education? One object of the education is you acquire knowledge, and one may not be intending to practice law, but nothing wrong if somebody feels that I must acquire knowledge. I want to know what are the laws, I want to study the laws. So this is one category of students will go for this law course. But majority of the students who are going to law course, they go with the intention of practicing law. As a lay person, as somebody who has worked in legal field for 40 years, I asked a question to myself. Yes, now in the new regulations, new rules of legal education, there is a compulsory clinical course. I also noticed from that there is one heading of moot court exercise and internship, and there is also one clause that observance of trial in 2 cases, 1 civil and 1 criminal, 30 marks are assigned out of 100. Now this comes under the practical experience training. I am referring to this for a different reason. We have best possible national law schools in India. There are private law schools. We are really imparting quality education. Take a case of Bangalore, for example. I asked a simple question to myself. A fresh law graduate of best possible legal institution comes out with his degree, goes to the Bar Council, takes his sanad. If he is told to conduct a simple trial for offence under section 279, or a simple trial of offence under section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act, or a simple money suit based on a promissory note, will he be able to conduct the case? The answer is no. Compare this with the medical course. Medical course, for MBBS course, the student undergoes very rigorous training. He has to attend the clinics. So maybe after he passes out, he gets MBBS degree, does his 1 year internship. When he comes out, he will be able to he will be able to treat some smaller diseases like common cough, cold, maybe influenza. But he is capable of doing the work, capable of discharging his duties as a professional. This does not happen. I have been repeatedly talking to Bar Council now. I refer to this observance of trial in 2 cases. If you are sending a student to a particular court for 15 days, I wonder how student is going to observe a trial, because the life of trials is long. Though section 309 of CRPC provides that once the session trial starts, it has to continue and end. That is not happening because we don't live in an ideal world. So I don't know, 30 marks are given, observance of trial in 2 cases. Which trials the students observe? They are supposed to submit a report. By going to a court for 15 days, you are not going to observe the complete trial. We need to work upon this aspect. Maybe with the permission of the High Court or Supreme Court, we should record the proceedings of trial where very eminent members of the bar conduct the trials, or proceedings of High Court where very eminent members of the bar argue a criminal appeal or a civil appeal. And that can be really, those clips can be shown to the students. There is also a provision for internship. There are no guidelines for internship. What the students are supposed to do, if they go and take internship in the chamber of a judge, every judge gives them different kinds of assignment. There are no rules, there is no pattern. So we need to work on what is the meaning of internship, what they are supposed to do. Everyone deals with interns in a different manner. I have a different method. I make my interns study the files of the next day, they prepare their notes, and I choose few cases and I allow them to brief me. So I virtually give them opportunity to argue before me when I am sitting in my home office. So this is one pattern, but there is no standardized pattern, and therefore we really need to work on these aspects. Therefore, in what manner we can improve our legal courses, our law courses, so that those who want to join legal profession, they should be equipped to start a legal profession. So many students are here. All of us were lawyers. My experience is the same. For 1 year, I could not understand what is happening in the court, though I was a student of one of the best law colleges. There is one suggestion which was made by a very distinguished judge. I attended one such workshop. He said that, why there should not be two different categories of law degree courses. One for those who want to practice law, and the other for those who don't want to practice law. They are doing that course for different reasons, to acquire knowledge, to acquire additional qualification, whatever is the reason. So if you want to have very equipped lawyers to be created by all these law schools and law colleges, perhaps we'll have to think on those terms. It is for the academicians to discuss that. The other issue which we'll have to consider in future, Goa, I believe, has how many? 2 law colleges? Goa? Two law colleges. Right. But if you go to the neighboring state of Karnataka or neighboring state of Maharashtra, you will find that in all major cities there are 15, 20, 25 law colleges. Talking about Maharashtra, every city, even new cities like New Bombay, have now 8 law colleges. So there are a number of law colleges which are coming, and the standard of education, they are all affiliated to different universities. The standard of education in each college, if you go to Nagpur, the standard is different. If you go to Bombay or Pune, the standard is different. Now, one very good experiment which is successful, that is, I think, in state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Now, in many states, there are state universities which deal with medical education. So all medical colleges or paramedical colleges are affiliated only to that state level medical university. Same experiment has been done in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and I believe in some more states, where there is one central university for the state, and all law colleges in the state are affiliated to that particular university. They are not affiliated to individual universities. That will perhaps streamline the quality of education in all the states. So there are issues and issues which require consideration. I am only flagging those issues as a lay person, somebody who is part of this system for 40 years. But I know that the view of academicians will be different, and we want them to express their views. And I am sure that there are teachers in law who are sitting here, they are principals of law colleges, they will also apply their mind. So I will request Brother Justice Mahesh Ronak to share his views.